Darren, better known as IShowSpeed or simply Speed Online, is a YouTube streamer between the ages of 17 to 19 from the United States who is known for his rather particular personality, to say the least. If you've ever watched a clip of one of Speed's streams, you'd know what I mean. Unlike many other creators I've seen, he's quite an interesting character. Additionally, as I'm writing this, he's currently the biggest streamer on YouTube by a long shot, with tens or even hundreds of thousands of viewers per stream and an audience of over 10 million subscribers. However, as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility, and with such a massive audience as the one Speed has, this couldn't be truer. Ideally, as a content creator, you want to set a good example for your audience, especially when it's predominantly full of minors, like Speed's audience is. But after keeping tabs on and off with Speed over the past few months, I've realized that Speed doesn't exactly abide by this rule of thumb. Quite the contrary, he seems to be doing everything in his power to be as irresponsible and reckless as he can be. This is dangerous and concerning not only for him, but also for his audience of impressionable kids. In fact, I'd say that Speed has quite a toxic relationship with his viewers. Like Dream, the Minecraft YouTuber, Speed constantly feeds into his audience's often poor behavior, leading him to find himself in unfavorable situations. Ultimately, the point is that I believe that Speed is a bad influence on his fans, and they're a bad influence on him. It almost feels like watching an abusive relationship of sorts, where each side feeds into the other, further inflating the severity of the toxicity. Some, myself included, have noticed this and grown worried for his mental well-being. There are specific clips of him lashing out at his fans, which have left people wondering whether these are just bits he does, or if he's legitimately distressed by what his fans are doing to him. Many fear that we could have another Etika on our hands if the latter is true. For the few of you unaware, Etika or Desmond was a popular YouTube streamer who unfortunately tragically ended his own life in June 2019 after struggling with unchecked mental health issues. Everyone believed that Desmond was just putting on an act until he finally took his life, which is when everyone realized that it was in fact very real. But viewers endlessly clowned on him until it was too late and he was gone, which is what people fear can happen to Speed, assuming he's not putting on a show. This worrying possibility, coupled with Speed's reckless and irresponsible attitude, is why I thoroughly believe that he needs to leave the internet for his and the audience's sake. Although, before delving deeper into any of this, we must first analyze Speed's toxic fanbase and his relationship with them. So without further ado, let's proceed to do just that. The perfect example of a situation that equally highlights Speed's toxicity and his fanbase's toxicity took place a few months ago in February. Although this was brought to my attention and the attention of many others when Jake Lucky, a notable esports personality, made the following tweet 2 months after the incident on April 6, in which he said, "I now understand why Valorant queues are so unbelievably toxic. You got one of the most popular streamers on YouTube, IShowSpeed, saying crap like this and getting nothing but praise and laughs. Crap is whack." Attached to this tweet was a clip of Speed lashing out at two of his teammates while playing Valorant. Of the two of them, one of them happened to be female, and Speed really went off on her to the point where it felt like I was watching a clip that came straight out of a 2009 Modern Warfare 2 lobby or a 2007 Halo 3 lobby. To be more specific, Speed's exact words were, "What bitch? Is a bitch talking to me? Is a female talking to me? Get off the fucking game and do your husband's dishes, bitch." Speed showed no reluctance in ripping her a new one, and naturally, many people saw this as very offensive and misogynistic behavior. But to add insult to injury, Speed's chat found this to be the pinnacle of comedy, and they were laughing up a storm. I couldn't see a single message in the chat disapproving of these comments Speed made. On the contrary, everyone seemed to support what he said, and again, found it humorous. However, only a few hours after Jake made his initial tweet, Speed would come out with a short minute-and-a-half long apology video on his Twitter. He tagged Jake and Lester, the global head of gaming creators on YouTube, in the caption which simply said, "Sorry." This video would shed some light on why Speed acted the way he did, considering Speed stated that he was getting loads of racist text-to-speech donations and toxic messages regarding his deceased aunt. With this information in mind, it makes it more understandable why Speed would lose his cool like this. this, as we can only put up with so much until we inevitably reach a breaking point, especially when it's about touchy subjects like the ones previously mentioned. But of course, this doesn't justify his reaction, and Speed doesn't try to do so in this apology, which is great to see since we often see content creators try to justify their poor actions in apologies. Instead, Speed owns up to his mistake and apologizes for his poor reaction. Speed also states that he learned and grew from the situation, and mentions that he's still young, so he can make more mistakes than an older person, which is true. Younger people tend to be more fallible than elders because they haven't fully matured, and considering I'm not much older than Speed, I can relate to and sympathize with this problem. Trust me, if my Discord calls or chat logs from 2016 or 2017 were to come out publicly, I would be completely ruined because I said some pretty vile shit that would be entirely unacceptable by today's standards and was pushing the envelope even back then. So I'm not trying to take the moral high ground here, but there's a certain level of responsibility that comes with being such a prominent streamer, where you need to constantly monitor what you say, especially when younger people are watching. However, if anything, I think the situation brings to light how genuinely abhorrent Speed's fans can be. They seem to have got Speed to blow a fuse, and they did it in such a disgusting way. In what world do you live where you think it's okay to talk shit or make fun of someone's dead aunt? You may think it's just edgy humor, but you can fuck right off with that. Under no circumstance should you make fun of someone else's dead relatives. That's just beyond fucked up. Take a second to think about whether or not you'd like someone to make fun of your own misfortune. Chances are you wouldn't enjoy that one bit. Plus, you all didn't just do that. You didn't stop there. You proceeded to say racist shit about Speed too, probably calling him the N-word and such in donations. It's no wonder Speed lost his temper. I'd also find it incredibly difficult to keep my cool under these circumstances that no one should have to go through. I mean, for God's sake, give the kid a damn break. If you consider yourself a fan of his and you do shit like this, you're not a fan. You're just a massive cunt loser that needs to go outside, touch some grass, and get a life. There are many other situations like the one previously covered, however, we'd be here all day if I were to cover all of them. So instead, I would now like to shift gears to a situation where Speed was more at fault than his fanbase, that being the recent fireworks incident. Let's explore this further. On July 4th, the most patriotic day in American history, Speed decided to light some fireworks in his room. Yes, you heard me right, he decided to light fireworks indoors in his fucking bedroom. However, he did this because he thought the fireworks he had were only noisemakers, meaning they wouldn't burst into flames. But unfortunately for him, these were all regular fireworks that burst into flames. Speed didn't realize this until he lit a Pikachu firework on his bed and it began to spark, dispersing fireballs all over his room. As soon as this started happening, Speed began to screech like a banshee and frantically call out for his mom, who can be heard on stream reprimanding him for his stupidity. Shortly after this, the fire alarm can be heard going off in his house, which resulted in firefighters showing up at the home to ensure that there wasn't anything severe going on, and at this point, Speed ended the stream. Thankfully, nothing bad happened, and Speed and his mother were okay. All that was lost was the firefighters' precious time where they could have been putting out actual fires that put people's lives in danger instead of going to Speed's house for an entirely avoidable issue. Additionally, his bedroom walls and ceiling were damaged and he suffered minor burns. But as you can probably imagine, Speed faced a lot of backlash for making this immensely dumb decision, as he could have burned his entire house down or even worse, gotten himself and his family killed. Plus, by doing this, he set a horrible example for the young viewers watching him, as many younger people follow the monkey see, monkey do logic. For the unaware, this means they imitate whatever they see others do without understanding the ramifications of taking that action. So there might have been young people who saw Speed do this, and they may have done this themselves in their own homes, since they're naive and don't know any better. I'm not trying to say that Speed is responsible for whatever his viewers choose to do, of course he isn't, but you can't deny that this didn't set a good example at all for them. However, to Speed's credit, he did advise his audience not to do this on his following stream the day after the incident, but honestly, he should have never done this in the first place, since the bad example was already set and the damage was already done. Although what's most interesting and noteworthy about this ordeal is that Speed's audience didn't take his side, contrary to the freakout he had on Valorant, where the audience seemed to favor Speed's behavior. He was clowned on hard for this incident, so much so that Speed said he wanted to take a short break from streaming. 2 days later, on his July 6th stream, Speed's chat was spamming common sense, and super chats came with messages like, "Don't light fireworks inside, it's common sense." These were non-stop, prompting Speed to respond by saying, "Whoever's doing that shit, chill out, bro. Seriously, chill out, bro. Seriously stop, cause I'm not in the mood for that, bro. I might just have to take like a 1-day break from streaming." In the same stream, Speed made the poor decision of making a Google Meet group call for his fans to join, and all that he received was a slew of hate from viewers continuing to shit on him over the fireworks incident. Following this call, he said, "Those are the exact people. I don't know when y'all are gonna stop spamming common sense. It's going to get to a point where I say F it and just end the stream. All because I lit a damn firework on stream. This is crazy. I genuinely don't know what's going on with y'all. For y'all to stop spamming common sense, what do you want me to do? Y'all want me to watch a goddamn firefighter video?" Regardless, for those wondering, Speed didn't end up taking the break he said he might take, and instead resumed streaming as if nothing had ever happened in the first place. However, overall, the situation looked bad on both parties, and I can only hope that Speed and the audience have learned from this. Speed needs to understand that his actions have consequences, and he needs to be careful with what he does on stream. But on the other hand, the audience needs to stop harping on Speed so damn much, as I genuinely believe that it takes a toll on his mental health to a certain degree. With that said, as of a few days ago, some interesting events have taken place that lead me to believe that Speed may or may not be leaving the internet for good. So let's delve deeper into this. As you may or may not have heard, on July 20th, Speed was doing a stream where he was playing Minecraft with a girlfriend mod installed, and one of the features of this mod is that you can get a blowjob. As you can likely expect, Speed did just that, and he received a glorious blowjob from a smoking hot babe named Jenny. Of course, this is a very naughty and explicit thing to do, especially Minecraft, so Speed had to be extra careful with what he showed on stream. Speed would toggle Minecraft on and off his stream to avoid showing anything too inappropriate, but unfortunately for him, Speed toggled the game back on at the wrong time when an erect Minecraft cock was fully visible, front and center in all its glory, as Jenny was about to go in for that sweet and juicy suck. Naturally, this violates YouTube's terms of service, as you can't show this kind of stuff on YouTube, especially when so many kids watch Speed, and as a result, he was given a community guideline strike and the stream was removed from his channel. However, what stood out to me the most about this strike was how Speed reacted to it. On July 22nd, Speed uploaded a video to the Live Speedy channel titled Last Message, in which he said goodbye to his viewers and announced that he would likely permanently leave YouTube because of the strike. Additionally, he also made an Instagram story that said, "I'm banned guys, goodbye," and a post that said, "We did it, goodbye," with a picture of him and a screenshot of his 10 million subscriber count attached. This led some people to believe that Speed is permanently leaving the internet, and others just think this is all one big publicity stunt following his rather notable ban. Although, as it turns out, it seems to have been the latter, since as I'm writing this on the 29th of July, Speed has made his grand return to streaming upon having the strike removed from his channel. But despite his return, I'd still like to share my opinion on this matter. While I mostly believe that his reaction to the strike was a publicity stunt, a part of me genuinely believed that Speed might have taken this opportunity to at least take an extended break from the internet, or maybe even leave forever. Given how toxic his fanbase can be and the recent controversies he's found himself in, I think it would have been in Speed's best interest to take a longer break from streaming. He should do this to avoid getting to more drama and potentially putting his mental state at risk, since we've seen that the actions of his fans can take a toll on him. While I certainly wouldn't go as far as to compare him to Etika, as some people have, it's one of those things where you never know the full extent of how someone is doing mentally, and you just rather be safe than sorry. But of course, I'm not a mental health professional, so I can't assess Speed's mental state, and I don't know him personally either, so I'm a bit limited with what I can say regarding his mentality. I would imagine that the controversies are also a bit of a double-edged sword for him. On the one hand, you can't deny that it's great publicity for him, as people love to watch controversy unfold, and they'll flock to anyone who is constantly in drama like Speed. But on the other hand, I'm sure that each one takes a mental toll on him, as his fans and critics alike willingly shit on him to no end. However, I feel that Speed realizes that drama sells, sells, and he keeps getting into it to grow his audience, even if that audience is rather unpleasant. I also think Speed may just be irresponsible and reckless by nature, as he continues to land himself in unfavorable positions where most people perceive him as the villain. This, coupled with the fact that these situations allow him to keep amassing such a large audience, worries people. Although I don't think this toxic cycle will ever end unless Speed decides to leave the internet for some time voluntarily, or he gets permanently banned on YouTube and other social media, and to be honest, I don't think Speed is willing to step down of his own volition. However, with all that said and done, allow me to share some final words before wrapping this video up. In conclusion, I believe that Speed needs to leave the internet on his own accord for some time to reflect on some of the poor decisions he's made in recent times. Then, once he returns, he should begin fostering a healthier audience than the one he currently has, which is beyond toxic, and having such an audience must affect him to some degree. I know I wouldn't be able to stand the audience he has, and I'm sure many others wouldn't be able to either. I want to clarify that I'm not in favor of deplatforming Speed, but I believe he needs to take a good chunk of time off to get his bearings. If he does this, I'm confident he can come back better than ever, and perhaps find himself in a much more favorable position than the one he's currently in. However, only time will tell if Speed decides to do this, and I can only hope for the best for him. But regardless, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop it a like, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you next one.